have an immense task to condense a lifetime of experience with belonging to impress upon you how important it is to even add one more thing that you do back in your districts to make a difference. I have an amazing team that I have cultivated, along with lifting voices not only of the team, but of our students. In the early 70s, my mother was a dropout. She was pregnant with me. Pregnant girls did not belong in schools in the early 70s. We were poor, really poor. But my sister and I were unstoppable. We ran a 10-mile road race when we were 5th and 6th graders. I had no idea how important running would be for me. I had a set of hand-me-down roos from my younger cousin that I used in my 7th grade cross-country career. More than once, they came unzipped, and I finished without them. Cross-country, and in particular, this man, Mr. Garapi, kept me tethered to school. It was one of the only places I felt I belonged. When I brought 3 letters of scholarship for private institutions to my guidance counselor, he looked at them and he literally had his heels on the desk and a cigar in the ashtray. Yes, I'm that old. And he told me, "Chrissy, you can't afford a weekend at these places." So I made the fiscally prudent decision to go to SUNY Oneonta and become an educator and root for the underdog. I focused on dropouts and those I thought were at risk of dropping out, and I cultivated connections with them, and I made my team focus on that as well, intentionally selecting new people we brought in with good interview questions, looking for those same values. When I went to Glens Falls, I got our list of dropouts, which include the last 2 years. And I connected with as many that would answer the phone and invited them in to meet with me. Many of them agreed to try to achieve their diploma, and many of them succeeded. That was just heartwarming. As a result, we looked at adding January and August graduations so that those that were off cohort still had that light at the end of the tunnel. We also created a viable credit recovery system. Student voice is essential. My student cabinet entirely led our mascot change, which was huge. They participated in our strategic plan and made changes to our capital project work. I had the delight of working with a politics class that actually went to Albany, met with our assemblywoman, and legislated for change in homelessness and DASA. I interviewed some of our youngest students, our elementary and middle school students, and I asked them, who makes you feel like you belong at Glens Falls? And I asked them, what do you do to help others feel they belong? They loved this question. Again, empowering them to know it's part of your job too. It's everyone's job to create that culture of belonging. I asked Andre in particular, and I loved his answer. He said, Miss Hall, who was his principal, and because she helped me when I was sad, I knew I had the right person on my team. Chloe, our student ex officio board member currently, she and I were chatting just last week, and she said that she had gotten a survey in her email asking how she was doing. She answered it, not expecting anything to come of it, but within 2 days, she had a response from the school psychologist offering counseling because she had indicated she was feeling stressed. She said, I felt seen. This team, this was our retreat from Saratoga this summer. We've done a retreat every summer where we collaborate, we forward focus, we hold each other accountable, and we just do a lot of things that are fun. And that all builds trust because we need that in this tough work that we're doing. You all know what that's like. And it's so much easier when we have that team support around us. We also believe that the strength of the team is each individual member. The strength of each member is the team. We have honest conversations, whether they're one-on-one, in the buildings, around this big table for safety, cabinet, things like that. Everyone has a voice at the table. Everyone literally is expected to speak every time. Their voice is valued, and they know that. The secret sauce Really not so secret, right? Authenticity, building relationships, taking that time to listen, and sharing a clear vision. We celebrate each other. We celebrate our kids in other buildings. We care. We truly care about one another. And I invite feedback. I don't just give it. And then I share with them what I learned from that feedback so they know how I'm going to apply it. Don't be afraid to realign your team. I picked out, the strengths from each member because they don't all have strengths, right? But I focus on the strengths and I tuck them away. I listen to kids in their spaces. I feel the vibe in the buildings. And I use this to put the right person in the right place. One of those positions was my director of MTSS, who was formerly the middle school principal. Our our strategic plan work, which was shared, consisted of our students, our board, our staff, the community. It was truly shared. And we knew that belonging was so important that we focused on a few things, including transitions from elementary to middle school to high school, to create a wellness, inclusion, diversity, and equity team, tighten up on safety for sure, and the MTSS focus. Our MTSS director was charged with focusing on that chronic absenteeism issue. And here she created a community collaboration at our public library, and we had community partners so that everyone knew how they could help us and how we would then help them. We also had a 9th grade sub-cohort that we really worked to rally around. And she continually meets people where they're comfortable, just creating connections. Connections we know are so important, and building trust. And so here, we're all at events. My cabinet, it's not just me, we are all at events being seen. And I have a weekly GF Nation update that I send to staff, and then we send out to parents and students to create connections. They mostly are about celebrations, about the great work we're doing, about the goals we're achieving, but also what we're working on and what's coming. Our MTSS results, because this is an important difference, we had not only the huge reduction, but the reduction in the average number of days students who were chronically absent continued to be absent. We also, you can see the dramatic decrease in fights in the high school. And this is September 1 to February 1 all year, so it's apples to apples. This is no accident. That 9th grade sub-cohort I talked about, they're our At Promise group. Here we are celebrating them passing all 4 core courses. That was more than we could dream, and it was awesome. We have a unified sports team in all 3 seasons, and that is a combination of gen ed and special ed students, and our entire community rallies around this group. We also endeavored to create as many modified sports and opportunities as we could without making cuts, because we felt that was the key. What can you do? What can you bring back? What's one thing you can add? Intentional interview questions to get the right members. A belonging scale, maybe a whole group photo with the message, this is our job. A first and last 100 yards with our kindergartners and our seniors celebrating the beginning of that year. A check-in survey and someone to follow up to make someone feel seen. This is the team. I am extremely proud to serve with our team. We care about kids, all kids. I can teach lots of skills. Caring has to be something you bring to the team. Building teams to connect, create, belong is our motto. I have been privileged to serve on several teams in my career, and I can say without a doubt that they inspire me. My family here in particular, my first ring of my team, my first elementary class, and then the ladies around the ring of this photo are what Brene Brown would call move a body friend. I can trust them without a doubt. So, to my guidance counselor who told my 16-year-old self, "You think you run this place. Thank you for the idea."